It's the two dudes with the attitudes, let's go. On the Friday, you know what it is, man, they came to handle biz. Two dudes with attitudes, and they came to get it in. If you wanna hear it all, yeah, you in the right place. Going through the highs and lows at a pretty calm pace. This is where they talk to all elite, Dynamite and Rampage. All the other news on your timelines or your page. Shooting star press like it's mad side down. MWO, and yeah, they here to hold it down. Had to kick a rhyme just to tell you about the show. From the TikToks or the shorts, they will bring the smoke. And yeah, it's the dudes like it's Sean and it's Diesel. Live on the Twitch, YouTube for the reviews. Show them all the love on the platform you using. 5-star rating now, there is no excuses. Welcome back or welcome for the first show. Two dudes with the attitudes, time to work, bro.
Boom, boom, boom. What is going on? Two dudes with attitudes of wrestling podcast, and this is the AEW edition with our new AEW background for all you people who are watching it on YouTube.
Yeah,
or
got to make some slight adjustments
Twitch
next time around.
Yeah,
but other than that, it's looking good. Yeah.
I like it. If we just had like a picture of like Wardlow with the shirt off or something, we'd probably get a lot more viewers. I like
Tony Storm.
I like it. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. But anyway, welcome back to another episode. And we had a hot week this week for AEW, my man. And as always, I'm the dude of Wrestle Talk, Mr. MWO. And with me, as always, is the number one fan of the Wardlow fan club, Mr. Shooting Star Press. What's going on, my dude?
Orange Cassidy fan club. No, that's more like it.
Okay. All right. You're a closet.
My doppelganger.
He is.
Yeah. But no, it's Friday night, and Friday night's a time for fighting. Or is that Saturday? I don't know anymore. But
Saturday.
But we'll talk. We'll get into Collision. But yeah, we got a fun night in WWE. SmackDown is on right now, and it's a pretty good show so far. For those,
is it? Oh, that's right. SmackDown is on right now,
and it's on FS1 for those of you who, because the World Series is on tonight. So just keep that in
that's
mind.
why it was on FS1. Got it.
So
makes sense.
See what the ratings are because they're off their network.
So I just got a new. So I had Hulu TV or whatever, live TV. Mm-hmm. And then, so now I just decided to get the YouTube TV. So I switched over. Hulu was kind of bugging me. So I got YouTube Live, and I was watching TV right before I jumped on here, and it literally said Friday Night SmackDown on. So I think I got the East Coast feed finally. So that's good.
Oh, nice.
We can do some watch-alongs now. Yeah, I think I might have it on your guys' time finally.
Oh, that's awesome.
So thank you, YouTube TV. Yeah. I mean, I am also missing the Clippers and Jazz game right now. So, I love y'all when I'm going to miss my basketball game, as you can tell when I'm, dressed up and everything. So,
yeah. No, I hear you. Yeah, the Clippers, I think the Clippers are going to pull that one out.
Oh, yeah. Clippers are going to pull everything out, bro. We're going 82-0 this year. But anyway, with that said, don't worry. I'm just going to secretly have the Clippers game right in front of me. And let's get going. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Let's start. We're going to skip Rampage again. Sorry, Rampage fans. Some good stuff happened, but really, it all just bled into Collision, Battle of the Belts, and Dynamite anyway. So let's get started with Collision. And I want to talk about, I'm going to start off with probably the worst thing that happened. Collision, for the first time in, I don't know how long, I thought this was a phenomenal show. I'd give it like an 8 out of 10. Had good matches. It had good storyline build. It flowed. It was nice. It felt like a SmackDown, not like a Rampage. It felt like a good part of the AEW product. But yet we decided to ruin that because, as Tony Khan says, we cannot have, a solid A+ night. So he doesn't say that, but I say that for him. So we went ahead and brought in Double J, Jeff Jarrett, to wrestle Eddie Kingston, non-title, because if Double J wins, then Eddie Kingston must wrestle the fake Ric Flair, Jay Lethal, the fake Macho Man. Both, right? He's both. I don't know what he is, but anyway, So basically, if he wins this and that. So this match happened, and holy cow, this was hot flaming garbage. This was such hot flaming garbage that I needed to get this trash out of my house before it lit it on fire. It was awful. It was atrocious. It made no sense. Karen Angle was in the match, or Karen Jarrett. Apologies. Whoa.
Oh yeah, them's fighting words.
Karen Jarrett got involved at least 27 times. Big ol' 7'1" boy got involved 100 times. Their whole crew got involved. Eddie Kingston was literally wrestling all 5 or 6 of them. And Eddie Kingston got put in about 27 finishers. He was able to recover all of them until the very end where Jeff Jarrett was able to pin him. Then they put a beat down on him. No one came to save him. Nobody likes Eddie Kingston, but oh my gosh, he's an unstoppable monster because it takes 75 dudes to beat him. And this match, I haven't seen a worse match in AEW since I watched Double J wrestle in that stupid horror movie match with Matt Hardy. Was it Matt Hardy?
I think it was. I think it was Matt Hardy, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or Jeff Hardy.
Was it all, or was it Jeff Jarrett? I think it was just Jeff Jarrett, right?
It was just Jeff Jarrett against Jeff Hardy, and then
yeah,
we had all of them go to the Hardy compound for like another.
And then they ended up So literally the 2 worst matches of the year of 2023 for AEW both involved Double J, Jeff Jarrett. So with that said, what are we doing here? Why is Jeff Jarrett still on my TV constantly in relevant matches that are leading to title shots or anything else? And B, just what are we doing in general? What is Eddie Kingston doing here? Why is this match on my TV? Why? I mean, am I the only one who thought this was hot flaming garbage? I mean, I don't see how anyone could like this. It was all colluded. It was awful. It was stupid. It was all over the place. The spots were dumb. Everything about it was. I like literally my brain cells as a wrestling fan went down so much after watching this damn match. I feel like I'm stupider now. Remember that part where Billy Madison is trying to win the to beat the guy to become like graduating in school, and he does that long speech, and he talks about literally nothing, and then the guy, when he tells him if he was right or wrong, it's literally
he's like that was the worst.
We are all now stupider for having to listen to it. He's like, you could have simple no would have been nice. That's how I feel after watching this match. It was bad. And for you Eddie Kingston fans, if you think he's good and you like him, then you want better for him, because that was just a hot mess.
Yeah, I didn't understand why they had this match. And number 2, Eddie Kingston is the ROH champion, and you're having him lose to 75-year-old Jeff Jarrett by pin. Now, granted, there was a bunch of shenanigans in the match. It wasn't a clean win whatsoever for Jeff Jarrett, but like this is how you're treating your ROH world champion. You're having him lose. Now, like, you can't come up with another way for Jay Lethal to earn a title match. Why can't Jay Lethal wrestle in this match? Why can't he wrestle a number 1 contenders match? Why is Jeff Jarrett doing the dirty work for him? That makes no sense. That makes Jay Lethal look like a complete chump too. So yeah, and this match was bad, and like the ketchup and mustard stuff and the condiments, just like I'd rather see Moxley bleed every week than see ketchup and mustard all over everybody. Like it was just so bad. And then all the spots, the table spot was bad. The Sansom Singh taking the guitar to the head was awful. Just all of it was just not enjoyable. I don't enjoy these kinds of matches. I do to a degree, but this was a little overkill. And to me, it almost ruined Collision. What I thought was a solid Collision. This may have been the best episode of Collision yet. And I think that tomorrow's episode is going to be even better. But this one, this almost killed it. You take this match out and add another match, or don't add anything and just extend everything. This is a 10. This card is a 10. Instead, it's an 8 because of this damn match. And I don't know if it's Jeff Jarrett booking it for himself or not. But let me get this straight too, is that I think it's funny that the ROH champion is making someone like Jay Lethal earn it, but MJF is literally fighting anybody who talks to him. Yeah.
Like literally, we'll get into that, but literally anybody who's like, I want a piece of you, he's like, okay, when do you want to wrestle? The AEW world champion is literally letting anybody fight him, but the ROH champ of Eddie Kingston, you got to earn it. You know what I mean? Like, get out of here with that. It was awful.
Yeah, it was bad. And then that match got followed up with Miro versus Action Andretti, and I actually kind of dug that match. I thought that thought that was a fun match, and I like I'm still kind of a little like I don't really understand this storyline that they're doing with CJ Perry and Miro, like because we all know, because we'll talk about this when we get to Dynamite, but Tony Khan loves to break kayfabe, so we all know that Miro and CJ Perry are married in real life. So, but yet he wants to act like she doesn't exist. He wants to act like she's not important in his life, and then all of a sudden. Action Andretti gets he wants her to be his manager, and now Miro is all about CJ Perry and is beating him up in the ring. But yeah, I thought Miro looked good. That may have not that he's looked bad previously, or not that he's looked I don't know. I'm not saying Action Andretti brought the best out of him or anything by any stretch, but I don't know. There was something about Miro this week that really stood out to me that made me think like, man, if AEW would just push this guy, he could be something in AEW, because like he's got the look, he's got the charisma in the ring. The fans seem to love him. They seem to dig him every time he comes out. He's got a beautiful smoking hot wife that can be his mouthpiece if necessary. Like there's so much to like about Miro. So I don't know why AEW is having him, in these little weird feuds with Action Andretti and previous people like that. What happened to his thing with Powerhouse Hobbs? I really like what's going on there. I don't know. I want to see more Miro, and he deserves better.
Well, Powerhouse Hobbs right now is putting Chris Jericho to the retirement home, but when Chris Jericho, as we'll find out, he has a big man ready to come up, so I can't wait to see who that is.
Paul White,
Paul White, Keith Lee, someone pointless.
Yeah.
But I here's the thing with Miro, right? I like that you said it made him look like a star, because he is a star. He has even his walkout and everything about him is just bleeds. And he didn't have that as Rusev. And he's had that as Miro when he had his undefeated streak. And then they killed that. And then he has not been able to recover. But here's my thing. You tell me this. If Miro's storyline right now, okay, is to fight for his wife's honor, or so she doesn't hook up with other guys or whatever's going on, and he's wrestling Action Andretti, should that not be a squash match? Please explain to me why this guy's trying to prove a point by, if you mess with my wife, I'm going to mess you up by having a competitive 10-minute match with you. And after that, I'll barely beat you. And then we'll see what you'll do after. Like, no. He needed to squash Action Andretti in a minute or 2 minutes, destroy and literally it goes 2 minutes because he's lifting him up, pummeling him again, putting him in his finisher, lifting him up, pummeling again, and looking at his wife the entire time while she's like, because she was already getting all soaking wet and in her feelings while it was going on. He needed to really punish him to make everybody else. So when she went to talk to, Andrade in the back or whatever, who's already married to somebody, that he would have been like,
they're not anymore.
Oh, Charlotte Flair's in the market. Well, don't worry, Charlotte. Nobody wants you. But anyway, I would have thought that that he would at least been like, no mas, right? No, thank you. I don't want none of that, because I just saw what he did. So that's the only thing that I thought was amiss, that you're booking him right. He's the dude, but once again, you're doing him wrong, because am I wrong here, Shooting Star? Would you have liked to see him just like prove? I mean, if you're trying to prove a point, am I gonna scare you if you were trying to hit with my woman if I had one still, and I like fought you and it was like evenly matched, and you were just like, all right, you win. And then I was like, that's right, no one mess with my woman.
That's right.
Like,
no.
Bro, I'm gonna mess with your woman. You barely even handled that dude.
Yeah.
Right? Am I wrong? I mean,
yeah.
I don't.
That's why I wish they would explain what the storyline is. Is it jealousy out of Miro? Is it because Action Andretti asked Miro's wife to be his manager and she only manages him, but yet when she came back, he wanted nothing to do it? Like, is it just control? I don't understand. I don't get it. And I wish that they would focus on it a little bit more, because I want to get behind it, because I love Miro and I love CJ Perry. And, I think you're right. I think it should have been a squash match, and maybe have Miro cut a promo afterwards or something, just to really sell whatever it is that, to make us buy whatever it is that he's selling. So I don't know. Right now, I like the match. I like Miro. I wish that they would just utilize him a little bit better. And give him the story could be good, but I don't know what it is. That's the only thing.
No, I don't think they know what it is. And and as you say, after he squashes them, he should have done with, like, I forgot who did it, where he has him like in a headlock and he's cutting a promo like, this is what I'll do. You know what I mean? And like, you mess with my wife, CJ, this will be you. That's how it should have happened, and that'll make people feel
Yeah.
threatened and keep
And
that
let us see
storyline
more
alive.
Let us see CJ Perry's reactions to some of this stuff. Like, does she
Mhm.
want Action Andretti as her client? Does she want other people as her client? Like, I don't know. Just show us more. And I feel like they're giving us bits and
She
pieces.
does on the internet, but yeah. Oh, yeah. That's basically got it.
Right. Yeah.
Well, something that was done right was the House of Black. And I know I've read on the internet that people thought they came out too many times. I don't know how you feel, but my 2 cents is I dug it. I thought it made them feel relevant. I thought it made them feel important. I thought it made them feel threatening, something Rusev, Miro didn't feel. So basically, the House of Black returned finally, and it started off with Malakai Black coming out and interfering on the Bryan Danielson match, and him kicking and laying out Bryan Danielson, which then the BCC came out and he left. Then they came back out and took out FTR after their match, the whole House of Black. Then they interfered on the main event and took some people out. It was a House of Black type of night, and this is how they should feel. House of Black is the best, I'll say it right now, faction in AEW. I love the BCC. I got shirts. I love me some BCC. I even liked Mox's return because he did come back this episode, and it was a hot return. But the House of Black is where it's at, man. I mean, I was upset. I didn't see Julia Hart. Maybe I missed it. Maybe I wasn't paying attention.
No,
I didn't see my
there.
girl. That's disappointing because that's my girl. But it was good. It felt important. It made me feel like this is a crew you don't want to mess with. And I know you might be talking about the lights out thing at some point tonight, but I just feel like the lights out, the lights on with them works in the fact that it makes you feel like you have to be worried at all times, right? Kind of like, where's Chucky? Like, if I go to sleep, Freddy's going to get me in my dreams. Like, this is like when those lights go out, holy crap, where are they? And they're going to pummel me and then turn the lights out again and disappear. So I thought it felt good. I thought it was a great return for the House of Black. What say you?
I thought it was awesome. And that's what made me like this episode of Collision. You know, you didn't have the World Championship on there. You didn't have your TNT Championship on there. You didn't have Chris Statlander didn't defend her championship on there. She did some weird thing in the back where she lifted Lexi Nair on weights or something.
Again.
But, yeah, like that was odd. But yeah, you didn't. And Orange Cassidy was there for an interview. So you didn't have because everyone was getting ready for Battle of the Belts. So I thought that this was a great way to make Collision entertaining without your champions being involved. And sign me up for BCC versus House of Black all day long. And the one thing I'm curious about, though, is why they go after FTR. Why they go after are they aligned with Ricky Starks or because they kind of left Ricky Starks hanging there at the end. So maybe they're not. But also keep in mind, too, is Sky Blue had a match with Hollywood, what was it? I'm trying to get her name.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
She was, a local talent from I guess the streets of Hollywood. And the last time we saw Sky Blue, she got spat in the face with the mist by Julia Hart. And she even had the stuff on her face, the blue face paint and stuff rolling down. So that's another sign that maybe she's joining House of Black as well. Maybe she's becoming a member, or she's starting to turn a little bit similar to how Julia Hart turned slowly from the Varsity Blondes or whatever group she was with before. And now, Sky Blue's starting to do a little bit more of the same thing. She's slowly starting to turn into a dark character. And maybe I hope she's not replacing Julia Hart in House of Black. I hope she's coming on in addition to Julia Hart. And now you could have two potential women who could go after the women's championships and the TBS championships, while the House of Black goes after the trios championships or something along those lines. But yeah, House of Black, man, they're killing it. And I want to see more.
Those were all wins. I think they need to go for the tag team championships, and Malakai Black needs to move on to the heavyweight. That dude's a star. And he's back in Selena Vega. So, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Dude. Like he's winning all over the place.
And he also didn't have his face painted for the first time ever this one too. So I wonder what but the thing is with the House of Black is I want to hear more from them. I feel like when they come into the ring, they beat people up and then they leave, but we don't really hear what their reasoning is. We don't hear why they're there. We don't hear them. They hardly ever cut promos in the ring. If they do anything, it's more backstage vignettes or backstage interviews or pre-taped segments. But I want to hear them like actually cut a promo and say like, hey, this is why we're coming after FTR. This is why we're coming after the BCC. These guys say they're the best. We want to show them that we're or something. Just give me a reason why. But other than that, I'm all in on House of Black.
Word, I agree. I agree.
And then for me, I'm going to bring it up now. You know, we had, I love the House of Black return. I thought it was dope. I thought it was great. But the lights went out 4 times on AEW Collision. 4 times. 3 times for the House of Black when it was FTR at the end against Ricky Starks and Big Bill versus Wheeler Yuta and Claudio Castagnoli. FTR against local talent, and then Bryan Danielson versus Andrade, which I thought was a banger of an opening match, by the way, too. That was a great match. You know, Andrade is another misused talent in AEW. He could thrive. But I'm just kind of over. I feel like AEW, that's all they know how to do when they either debut somebody or they bring somebody back. It's let's turn the lights off and have somebody, you know, right in the middle of a chair shot. Let's turn the lights off. Right in the middle of a kick, let's turn the lights off. Right in the middle of somebody jumping off the top rope, let's turn the lights off. I just feel like that's all they know how to do. They did it for Edge when he debuted at Wrestle Dream. The lights turned off right in the middle of Christian's Concerto on Sting. They've done it a bunch of times before. They've done it with House of Black numerous times. They're doing it with the WWE has done it many a time with The Undertaker in previous lives, and rest in peace Bray Wyatt, but he did it quite a bit. And I don't know, I'm just like, I feel like there's a better way to bring people back, but they did it 4 times on Collision, 3 times for House of Black, and 1 time for that devil character who was like interrupting the Bullet Club Gold promo from the Guns and everything, or it was like right after the Guns match. And Jay White came out, and then the MJF or the Devil, which everyone thinks is MJF, at least on commentary, showed up. It's not. Yeah. But I don't know. Can we come up with a different way of introducing somebody? Like House of Black? It's cool. So do something different with that Devil guy. You don't have to turn the lights off for that too. You can do something different. So that's my mini rant for this Friday night.
I got nothing to say other than I support it. I think 100%. And that was like people's complaints with the House of Black, is that they came out too many times. Like, why not just come out in the main event, clean house, and, you know, why go against FTR and so on. But yeah, I mean, I agree. And I don't know. And why did the Devil go lights out? It doesn't even make. He could just pop up on the screen.
He didn't even come into the building. He wasn't
there.
Yeah.
So I don't. Yeah, I agree. So I don't even understand why he had the lights go out and what the point of him being there was. He wasn't beating up anyone. He didn't harm anybody. He was just there. It made no sense. So yeah, I agree with you. Weird stuff. And continuing on, you ready? We're going to go right into Battle of the Belts, because that was like the continuation of Collision, a quick hour show. And I want to talk about somebody that I always talk about, my man, my BFF of AEW, my boyfriend, Mr. Orange Cassidy. This dude opens up the show, and I love it because Battle of the Belts always ends with like Rampage or Collision ending, and them like starting where it's ending, and you have the BCC still in the ring, and Orange Cassidy music hits, and I guess that upsets Mox. I don't know why. I guess it upset him. So he's kind of giving Orange Cassidy a look going up the ramp, while Cassidy's going down the ramp. And Cassidy just decides to give him a little shoulder bump, a hard shoulder bump, which leads to Mox shoving his face away, and then they get into a little scuffle. Yeah. Which was weird, because the scuffle was weird because Bryan Danielson was holding everyone back, but Claudio was like up there, like could have fought Orange Cassidy, but I think Claudio was like, wait, why am I in this position? I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And they just kind of like,
what do I do with my hands?
Yeah. I'm supposed to be getting held back, not like there's no way between us. It was like a weird, but either way, I loved it. Mox, Orange Cassidy too? Yeah. Sign me the F up, please. All day, every day. I don't care if Mox wins again, and I love Orange Cassidy. Sign me up, please. But I love that. And I actually have been giving the Dark Order and John Silver a lot of crap on this podcast since we've started this thing and since I've ever spoken. And John Silver, good on him. Nobody in the world, thought he was going to win that match. But he had some good moves, man. That like suplex from the top rope, and the near fall. He had a bunch of near falls where even I was like, oh shoot, is he about to win? It got me a couple times. Like, good on him. He had a phenomenal match, I thought. Cassidy won. And the best part about this was 2 things. One, Orange Cassidy finally turned up those kicks and went from the baby kicks to stiff kicks, some Bryan Danielson stiff kicks. Secondly, is this the first time Orange Cassidy's ever won a match where he wasn't injured and hurt during it? So
it feels
props
like
to him.
Yeah.
So this felt like Orange Cassidy bumping Mox, stiff kicking, not getting his butt kicked and winning. I think we're getting a new Orange Cassidy, my man. So that's my high of this Battle of the Belts. I know nothing really happened, but to me, that happened.
Yeah. No, I thought that opening, I kind of crapped on Battle of the Belts last week. I said I was low on it. It was my low through the week when we did highs and lows. And I stand by that. But having Jon Moxley there at the beginning, it was Collision's end, but the beginning of Battle of the Belts, and him doing that little shoulder check to Orange Cassidy, I kind of dug it. I liked it because it shows storytelling in AEW, and that now Orange Cassidy has a legit rivalry, not this like, oh, I'm going after the Hardy Party or whoever he feuds with, but he's is
that what they're called?
Yeah, because it's the Hardys in Private Party, so now it's the Hardy Party.
But it's not Private Party. What happened to the other one? There's only one of them. What happened to the other one?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Just Moni McGee. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But like he's not feuding with randos anymore. He actually has a legit rivalry, and I'm excited to see it. I want to see what happens. And like you said, if Moxley wins, great. If Orange Cassidy retains, even better. But I want to see Orange Cassidy have a legit rivalry in AEW, and I think Moxley's the perfect person to give it to him. So, I think we might be getting a new Orange Cassidy. He seems to be a little bit more talkative in promos now, and he seems to be more, a little bit more engaging in interviews and stuff when he's doing backstage stuff. So, I think he is coming around, and I think he is going to turn over a new leaf. And he looked great in the ring, and that's the Orange Cassidy I want to see. I'm tired. I got a little tired of he gets his ass kicked the entire match, and then at the very end he finds a way to win with the orange punch. I don't know where he pulled that out of, and then he's got all this kinetic tape all over him to show off his injuries. Like this, he looked like a legit stud in this match, and I was happy to see it.
Yeah, and he wrestled again on Dynamite, so good for him.
Yeah, and I want to talk about just Battle of the Belts in general. I thought the event was actually pretty decent, despite the fact that it was still my low for last week. But I'm glad that Tony Khan put Moxley there on it. I'm glad that he put Samoa Joe on there to rehash his feud with Maxwell Jacob Friedman, to talk about MJF on. So that made it feel a little bit more important. But I still stand by that this show was just a glorified Rampage that aired after Collision. And you call it Battle of the Belts, but not all the belts were defended. You call it Battle of the Belts, but I think I read a stat the other day that said that only one title has changed hands on Battle of the Belts since they started it, and this is the
eighth one.
This is the eighth one that they've done. And I think it was I want to say it was the TNT Championship where Cody Rhodes got COVID, and so they brought out the interim TNT title, where it was like his brother Dustin Rhodes wrestled like Sammy Guevara or somebody like that, and so that was like the first time that was the only time they crowned a new champion on Battle of the Belts. So
yeah.
Huh. Like, but if you're gonna do this, like put some story into it, build to it. Make it feel like you had those guys on there. Great. It made it feel important. But if I didn't know it was on, I wouldn't have watched it. And, you haven't built to anything on it on Dynamite. You haven't built to anything on it on Collision. So you have Rampage building to it because John Silver had to win a triple threat on Rampage to get into that match against Orange Cassidy. So there was something, but, you had weeks to build to this. And, not everyone's going to be on a pay-per-view. It's a while until your next pay-per-view. You could have treated this like an hour-long pay-per-view that felt important, but I don't know. I just wish that Tony Khan would either make these shows feel important or not do them at all.
I fully agree with you. And you sent me a text today about talking about it, and you were like, Night of Champions. Oh, I mean,
Clash of the Champions.
Clash of the Champions. Oh, I mean, Battle. It's so stupid.
Title
and
Tuesday.
It's like and it's a cheap way to get more people watching, but like you said, fans will sooner or later realize that these shows are a joke. Most of the time it's ROH championships being defended, and secondly, no one loses, so what's the point? So I fully agree with you. I like the Orange Cassidy storyline, but you could have done that on Collision without adding an extra hour.
No,
you could have done it on Rampage, because Rampage was basically a filler for Battle of Battle of the Belts. So you could have just got rid of it and just did it all on Rampage. I think it's stupid.
Yeah. I wouldn't have minded a Rampage themed episode. Like you have the themed Dynamites, Dynamite Grand Slam, Rampage Grand Slam. Do a themed Rampage called Rampage Battle of the Belts and do some. I'm fine with that, but make
or even a themed Collision.
Event,
yeah, a Collision Battle of the Belts. Like I don't think we need an extra hour for any of this. I agree.
Yeah,
it's boom. But anyway, you ready for Dynamite?
I am, man, because Dynamite was solid.
Wednesday. Oh no, Wednesday. I should do the Wednesday dance.
Is it swerve when you drive?
No, the Wednesday dance. You know the Wednesday dance on the internet? Come on, you have kids. No, you didn't see the Wednesday dance? You didn't watch Wednesday, the show on Netflix?
No, I haven't gotten into that yet. That's about the Addams family,
Jetta
right?
Ortega. Yes. Have you seen her? I know she's like 20, but have you seen her?
Yeah. Who hasn't? Okay. Who hasn't? But...
Have you met Ted? All right. So let's get into Dynamite. And once again, I thought Collision was Dynamite. I thought Battle of the Belts had Orange Cassidy moment, which was Dynamite. And I thought Dynamite was Dynamite. I actually am all in. Are you getting all this?
Pun intended.
AEW.
Yeah.
I did all puns. Come on. Yeah. I just made that up right now, too. All right. Anyway, we don't talk about Bruno on here, but we do talk about MJF. And I want to talk about MJF, or as I like to call him, because we're friends, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. And this dude, so he is literally in 75 rivalries right now.
Yeah.
And I have been the one, I wouldn't even put you under the bus. I have been one who's been crapping on it majorly. I have been just against it, thinking how stupid it is, overbooking. I don't know what happened. And maybe it's just this episode, but holy crap, did it work this week? It just worked. So let me just break it down, okay? Break it down. You ready? Break it down. So we start off by talking to Renee, who's not supposed to wear white after Labor Day, but damn, she's allowed to. So she's wearing all white.
She wants to.
And take that, Moxley. What you gonna do about it? You can't find where I live. Or can he?
Yeah, he probably would. Yeah.
Actually, every kid I teach knows exactly where I live, even my new address after my divorce. These kids know, you can literally Google my name and you can literally find. It's scary. But anyway, I gotta fix that. But anyway, Renee, he cuts a great promo on Juice Robinson, a phenomenal promo. Stop looking up my address. A phenomenal. I saw you. A phenomenal promo on Juice Robinson, and here comes Roderick Strong in his wheelchair with his homies, and he literally brushes him off and literally shoves him away, where he rolls out of the way.
Yeah.
Continues to cut on Juice Robinson. Has a 5-star match against Juice Robinson, 4-star match. Great match. Takes the ring, belts everybody with it. Hits Juice Robinson, pins Juice Robinson, does that. Juice Robinson and Bullet Club are up on the top, and they're about to jump him or whatever, and out comes Roderick Strong for the save. His two boys go in because for some reason Roderick Strong now can't even wrestle, and they get beat up. Out come the Acclaimed, all three of them with Mr. Ass, and they clean house. They're up there, and they're like, you know what? You want this BBB belt back or whatever, Triple B? We challenge you to a 8-man, whatever. You find your 3 people. And these guys are literally fighting over. And at the same time, the Guns are like, we challenge you for the tag team titles. We want you at full gear for the title because Adam Cole obviously can't wrestle. So it's just him. So the event that the 2 dudes with attitudes are going to now get to see MJF freaking wrestle twice. So you just saw MJF open up the show with a fire promo, wrestle in a 5-star match, get saved by 2 different triple teams, right? 3, they call them, the trios, 2 different trio teams. Challenge to a tag team match, which he accepts, then accepts a 8-man tag later on in the future. I don't know when it's supposed to happen. And then the Acclaimed and the Roderick Strong crew are fighting over who's going to team with them. He doesn't want anyone to team with them. He even does a funny skit where Caster tries to scissor him and he goes up to him and closes his fingers. Yeah. Hilarious.
I thought I had to watch that part twice because I thought he threw paper when he threw, but I guess
that would have been better.
I thought he went like this But I guess
no,
paper
he
is
just
like this.
closed
Yeah.
it. Yeah, he just closed the scissors. But that would have been he should have rocked. Rock beat scissors,
Rock,
man.
yeah, rock
That
beat
would have
scissors.
been
Yeah.
that would have been better. And then he goes to leave after basically trashing because I'm sorry to break it to you, MJF and the Acclaim, the two most over people in AEW together. Sign me up. He leaves, and out comes Kenny Omega for a half awkward promos, but basically they challenge each other because Omega says, if you want to beat my streak of the highest, longest reigning champion AEW history, and Kenny Omega is still, even with MJF right now, because he's just finally finding his groove, the only good AEW world champion, Kenny Omega. I stand by that. He says, you want to beat my streak? You got to beat me, bruh. Saturday at Collision. And MJF accepts. And we are getting freaking MJF versus Kenny Omega. I don't care if the outcome is already predictable. This is a freaking MJF. And then, and then we get Samoa Joe later on coming into MJF's thing and saying, you need homies? I'm your home. I'll be your Huckleberry. And MJF's like, yes, please. He was actually like super excited.
Yeah.
And Samoa Joe's like, but you got to fight me later. I don't care when it is. So now we literally, MJF, I was like, I couldn't even hold it. This was like the best booking I've ever seen with AEW. And this is something I was crapping on that I don't know if next week it's not going to work again, but it freaking worked. And I'm so excited, like Jesse from Saved by the Bell. I'm so excited. I'm so scared. It was amazing. What say you? Was I just in the right moment? Did I have a couple cocktails? What's going on here? Are you feeling it too? Was this just
I liked it.
Amazingness?
Yeah, I liked it because it made MJF for the first time in his championship reign look like $1 million. And you have everybody gunning for him now. Everybody wants a piece of MJF, whereas before nobody really wanted him. And there was the complaint that MJF, he's the Roman Reigns of AEW. He never defends his title. He always wrestles at pay-per-views. He never wrestles on TV. And now we're getting MJF versus Kenny Omega on free TV. He was on Dynamite Grand Slam against Samoa Joe. He's putting up banger after banger of matches. That match with Jay White's going to be off the chains.
We'll be there.
And everybody is gunning for MJF. And don't forget about Wardlow too. Wardlow came out, or Wardlow had a backstage vignette where he said that he sees right through Max's BS and all. I was the last one to beat him, and everyone is cheering for him now. It makes no sense. So that's the only part I was a little confused on. Like, is Wardlow a heel now because MJF's a babyface and he's anti-fans? I don't really know. I feel like, but the only thing I didn't like was a couple of things with the Kenny Omega promo. And I love the
promo was weird. I thought the promo was awkward, but yeah,
it was the promo. But like, I kind of felt like Kenny Omega maybe overshadowed Jay White a little bit because the story is Jay White versus MJF, and Jay White has MJF's belt, and Jay White is tormenting MJF, and Juice Robinson wanted to take the Dynamite Diamond Ring, and it's MJF versus the Bullet Club Gold. And then there's this devil guy that's beating up making life hell for the Bullet Club Gold, and everyone thinks it's MJF. And then Kenny Omega comes out, and they never ever show Jay White's reactions to Kenny Omega being out there. They never showed Jay White in the Bullet Club Gold again after that. They just showed Kenny Omega kind of staring at him as MJF walked away. So like the pay-per-view match is MJF versus Jay White, but I kind of feel like Kenny Omega overshadowed him a little bit, but I still liked it. And it was an awkward promo. The whole like, I want what you have, but yet Jay White is the one that has it. And then he's like, I want what's not around your waist right now. Like, it was just little things like that. But we're getting Kenny Omega, and Kenny Omega, he hasn't looked very good the last couple of times he's been in the ring, but ever since he came back from that injury hiatus, he's gotten better and better in the ring. But I have no doubt that this match with MJF is going to be off the charts. But he's still
top 3 in the world right now. So
I'm still a little, I don't know. I have this feeling that maybe the match won't happen. And that it's all a ruse, and because this just feels like a pay-per-view match. This feels like a match that's perfect for a pay-per-view and not on a Collision. I feel like they're going to tease it. Both guys are going to come do their entrances, and then the Bullet Club Gold's going to take out MJF, and the Don Callis family is going to take out Kenny Omega, and we're going to have a big old fight, and MJ, and then the Acclaim's it's going to be that ending that we had on Title Tuesday, where the Acclaim's going to come out and fight off the Guns, and then the Roderick Strong's and his group's going to come out, and so it's going to just be all out chaos. That's my prediction for the ending of Collision, and that MJF and Kenny Omega won't even touch each other. They're going to help each other.
I hope not.
I want to see the match. I think
that juju out of here.
Yeah.
Get it out of here. Get it out.
I want to see the match. I think it's going to be off the chains. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But yeah, that was my only gripe, was that it kind of overshadowed Jay White a little bit. So
it did. But that's what happens when he's feuding with 45 people. So
yeah. So for me, with Dynamite, I want to talk about my girl, Ruby Soho. And I feel like
you said smash. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I stand by that. 100. I would watch.
She looked good this week without all that ridiculous makeup. She's woof. Yeah.
So we saw her on Collision, where she basically, I don't know what was up with, what was his name, Tony Nese, or not Tony Nese, but the guy from
he was there.
The Cool Hand Luke. He's like
Luke,
he's like combing his hair like grease lightning style, and then
were they about to hook up? And then
I don't know. He was like, having family problems. Meets. I know what that's like. Except I'm gonna be a champion by the end of it. I'm like, what? Like, okay, that was weird. But Ruby Soho got a match against Sheeta on AEW Dynamite, and it was a great match. But I just feel like she's got to have blackmail on Tony Khan. She's got to have something backstage on him, because she might be the second best wrestler on the women's division on that roster behind Britt Baker. And Britt Baker's been gone for a while now. I don't know where the heck she is, but Ruby Soho, I feel like she's becoming the female Wardlow, where you put her in these big matches and then she just comes up short every single time. She's going to lose when she wrestles Sheeta. She lost to Chris Statlander at All Out. She lost in the Owen Hart Invitational Tournament for no freaking reason. She lost last year in the Owen Hart Invitational Tournament. Like, she constantly is like built up to be this thing, and then they drop the ball on her and she loses. And I love Ruby Soho, and I think she could be the face of that women's division if they let her. And I think she'd be a damn good face of the women's division if they let her. She could be a dark character if they wanted her to. She could be a light character if she wanted to. Like, she could be all kinds of like gimmicks and characters with her look and everything. But yeah, I feel like she is a huge missed opportunity in the AEW women's division, and I don't know what they're doing with her, because I don't know. I feel like she might be on the way out relatively soon if things don't change.
I mean, she had a better run in WWE. Is she still in the Outcast? Is that still a thing?
I think that's what she meant when she said she was having family problems, because Tony Storm's doing her thing,
Tony Storm,
and Saraya is the women's was the women's champion now, and she's gone, I guess, because Sheeta beat her. I don't know. This whole thing just feels off, and I knew when they even announced that this match was happening, I knew, Ruby Soho is going to lose again, because that's just what she does. That's kind of what she's known for now.
The thing with me is that you have people like Ruby Soho and Britt Baker and Tony Storm and amongst the AEW women's division is pretty stacked, and yet we're sitting here with Sheeta as a champion. Sheeta is literally a 3-time champion, the only 3-time champion. She's so pointless. I'm sorry, I don't get her. Even in her Ruby Soho match, I don't get it. Is she good? Is she technical? Sure, but what does she bring other than that?
And the crowd was not into it.
They don't care. No one cares about Sheeta. The only people that care about Sheeta are fake AEW hardcores who are like, no, she's good, she brings it, blah blah blah.
What's her character?
Who is she? Exactly like what I said about freaking LA Knight on our last podcast yesterday. Like, who is he? Who is she? Why am I invested in her? I'm not invested in her in any way. Like, she's known for what? Blooding up Britt Baker? Wasn't that her? The one that bloodied up Britt Baker the first time and made Britt Baker famous. So she's known for cutting up Britt Baker. Like, she has literally, she bores me. And I don't know why I would much rather have Ruby Soho. And I'm assuming Toni Storm now, because she's next, will take the title. I'm assuming with her awful gimmick. But I don't know what they're doing. I agree with you. Ruby Soho is a star, and she is getting the Wardlow treatment. So
big time.
Yeah, I agree. I fully agree. And I want to talk about something else that I don't get ever. Tony Khan and loving the 90s. And in this case, the 70s. Or maybe even the 80s. So Sting, 95-year-old Sting, is about to have his retirement tour in 18 months when he wrestles his last match. And he has a present coming from Tony Khan himself. And what is he going to get? Maybe a Rolls Royce, maybe a nice Rolex, maybe even a couple of hookers from the Ho Train. No. This dude gets Ric Flair as his present. And Sting, God bless his soul, he is a religious man, does the best he can at pretending like he is excited about it. Who would be excited to get a 99-year-old man, former wrestler, wobbling his ass down to the ring? So here comes Ric Flair. For one, why? Why is Ric Flair going to wrestle? Why? Ric Flair wants to go on the tour with him. What tour? Why? We're going to have Ric Flair and Sting cutting promos on it. Why? If AEW wants to not be WWE, wants to be better than WWE, you think Ric Flair was it? You think Ric Flair compares to bringing back The Rock and bringing back other people that we've brought back, John Cena, as like a hot commodity to bring up? Like, you think Ric Flair? I don't. Did you see what was the buys on or the ratings on AEW Dynamite?
Yeah, let me pull that up.
Couldn't have been. Did Ric Flair boost those up? Is Ric Flair going to continue to boost those up?
They were down. Last week they had over 900,000 people. And this week they had like, it was like 7 something. NXT was down too, but let me find the official ratings.
Yeah, but either way, I don't know what they were thinking. And if it was not for Christian freaking Cage, this segment would have died. The crowd didn't even care. You had Ric Flair come out and the crowd was like, meh, whatever. Like what? Because the last thing we remember, go ahead. You have it?
Yeah, this was their worst rating of the year so far since June of 2022.
Worse than when it went up against NXT?
Yeah, yeah. Because NXT, it was a 0.26 rating. And this one had more viewers, 774,000 than the one against NXT, but it was a 0.24. I guess that's the 18 to 49-year-old demographic.
Yeah.
That they focus so much about. So
yeah, but no one 18 to 49 knows who Ric Flair is. So here's the thing, right? Once again, what are we doing, Tony Khan? How did you think that was going to be like a good surprise or a sell? Even Darby didn't care. And on top of that, if it wasn't for Christian Cage, this shit would have died out. Christian Cage thankfully saved us by coming out and cutting his best promo at AEW.
One of them.
Every promo he says is great. But basically he came out and compared Ric Flair to a black liver. Basically, he said that he was Weekend at Bernie's, and you can see the strings. He couldn't see the strings, so that was impressive. Even Luchasaurus laughed. And then he compared him, basically saying that how he believes in a god or something like that, because if not, Ric Flair would have died 20 years ago. Yeah, basically because he had a heart attack. And
Ric Flair being here is proof that there's no god, because
Ric
Flair would have, like, if there was a god, Ric Flair would have died 20 years ago.
And the crowd was literally like,
holy, yeah.
The fact that Christian Cage hands these to people and everybody is allowing him to say whatever the hell he wants to say is freaking amazing, because Ric Flair literally died. Didn't he not die 20 years ago and then recover? I mean, like the fact that he was even allowed to say, but holy crap. And this is going to lead to a 6-man tag match with Lucha, Nick Wayne, Bruce Wayne's son, and Christian Cage versus Sting, Darby, and please, dear God, not Ric Flair. What say you?
Well, we saw in the backstage that Renee interviewed Adam Copeland right after that. And Adam Copeland was still like, I still don't really want to fight Christian Cage. I stand by what I said last week. He's a brother of mine. And then up came Darby Allin. He's like, dude, have you not been paying attention? And, you know, Adam Copeland's like, you know how much I respect you, Darby. And then Sting comes up all hot and bothered. He's like, why are we even having this conversation? He kind of sounded a little like Dr. Phil. Why are we even doing this? The first thing you need to admit is that you have a problem. Like, he was just...
I think he was doing it on purpose, but yeah.
He was like, why are we even having this conversation? And, like he was trying to slap some sense into Adam Copeland or something. So, so maybe it's gonna be Adam Copeland and not Ric Flair, but anybody but Flair, please, anybody but Flair. But I don't know. Maybe Copeland's. Is he not going to be wrestling at Full Gear? This is 2 Dynamites in a row that he hasn't appeared on screen. I mean, in the arena on. So
we can talk about Copeland soon. I'm sure we have some segments to go through, but yeah.
But
I don't know. Yeah.
I hope it's not Ric Flair, but I have a feeling it might be. And just because Tony Khan loves nostalgia, Ric Flair's been saying he wants to have one last match. And but please don't do Rick. Please. I watched his match against, was it Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal and Ric Flair and Andrade, and all of them are in AEW now too. So maybe rematch city's coming up, but did
you watch that match?
Flair I did. It was even awful. Move. Yeah, it was.
He couldn't even chest slap Sting in the ring. He barely did it. Was like,
and he did the Ric Flair strut after the promo
and almost died.
Yeah, almost flipped over a couple of times. So. I don't know. This has a disaster written all over it, and it's supposed to be a high moment for Sting, and it feels like it's gonna end disastrously. So I don't want to see this. I didn't like this. This was probably the lowest moment of Dynamite for me, was this whole moment. And then one thing, I know we don't talk a lot about dirt sheets on here, but Sean Ross Sapp was on Fightful, and he said that, and he's right. He's like, Tony Khan's gift for Sting in his retirement, like you were saying, it's not a Rolls Royce, it's not hookers, it's not a Ferrari. It was another human being. He was like, that's like getting clothes on Christmas. Like, talk about being disappointed. It was just, I don't know. It just, that's how it felt. It was just a big letdown. Like, they announced it on Collision that it's been announced that Tony Khan has a big gift for, and like, okay, Tony Khan, like, show up on screen and say, hey, here's your present, and like, here's Ric Flair, something. But Tony Khan wasn't even there. He had Tony Schiavone do it. The whole segment was bad. Thank God for Christian Cage coming out and saving it and continuing to be the best heel in all of professional wrestling, because he was phenomenal.
He was. Well, just so you know, we're getting an Edge turn in that 6-man tag, and then we're getting Edge versus Sting in his retirement match. So
there you go. I wouldn't hate that.
There you go. That's what's happening. So
yeah.
Let's keep it rolling. What's your last one? We can talk about that later. What's your last one?
So for me, Monday Night Raw opened us up to the deadbeat dads. Logan Paul was with Dominic Mysterio, and they were talking all about Rey Mysterio being a deadbeat father. Logan Paul empathized and sympathized with Dirty Dom, because Rey is a deadbeat dad, and it was. We may have a worse deadbeat dad than Rey Mysterio hanging out on AEW Dynamite, and that is one Hangman Adam Page. Okay, so Swerve Strickland. So Hangman Page, the Young Bucks, and Hangman Adam Page. I guess they're called the Hung Bucks, which whatever. But they're that's what they.
Did I miss that?
That's what they refer to them as, the Hung Bucks. I guess
they're not the Elite.
No, because Kenny Omega makes the Elite. So when it's just the 3 of them, they're the Hung Bucks. But
no, that's not. When Dominic's not with the Judgment Day, they're still called the Judgment Day. They're not called the Damian Priest Balors. They're literally called the Judgment Day. Okay, continue.
But anyway, they went up against Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, and the Hardy Party, Isaiah Cassidy, and put the ROH 6-man titles on the line, and whatever. Hung Bucks won, and then all of a sudden, we saw Swerve Strickland show up on camera, and he is going into with Prince Nana, I think his name is, and they're going into what looks like Adam Page's house. And okay, first of all, I talked about this with the lights going out. When you have somebody going into your house on on television, on wrestling television, like, okay, they were in Missouri, I think it was, or Houston, or wherever, or if they were in Philadelphia. Adam Page doesn't live in Philadelphia. So why does he have to run out of, like, what good is running out of the ring gonna do? Like,
dumbest thing that happened. Yep.
Let me run out of the ring and then let me go to the backstage in my locker and let me get all my stuff. Okay, now I'm gonna drive to the airport and oh man, I gotta buy a ticket. Oh, I gotta wait in this security line. Okay, let them pat me down. All right, okay. Oh, my flight's delayed. Okay, I'll just sit here for a little bit. And now I'm gonna fly all the way to Philadelphia. Like, why are you running out of the ring? Anyway, I've never understood that. Edge did that
Dumbest
when
thing
Randy Orton broke into his house. He even like called FTR, and they do this all the time. But I think Johnny Gargano did the same thing when Grayson Waller broke into his house and Candice LeRae was there. It was just like, what are you running out of the arena for? Like,
you're
not going to get
there. No,
there.
Gargano got there. Remember? Because was Florida.
That's right.
Florida.
That's right.
He
like got there by the end of the night or something.
Yeah. And then they fought. Yeah.
Uber. But no, like
that's not how you call an Uber, by the way.
No, I know.
You old man.
That's what we were doing. That's what we were doing after WrestleMania because we couldn't find our Uber.
Yes.
We're like, hey, are you our Uber? It was like, I think so.
Don't bring that up. I still have that Lyft price on my thing. Yeah, $800 or whatever that we took an Uber. But anyway, continue on.
But anyway, so Swerve Strickland breaks into Adam Page's house, and they rip artwork off the refrigerator. They sit on his sofa. They're making all kinds of noise. And all of a sudden, Prince Nana's like, I think I hear something. We need to get out of here. And Adam Page Swerve Strickland's like, no. We need to go. We're going to go check it out. Let's go. So they go check it out. And you don't hear anybody. You don't see anything. I didn't hear a noise. I don't know what Nana heard. Like, you didn't hear anything on screen. And then, so I'm assuming nobody was home. I was like, okay, so they break into this house when nobody's home. That's a perfect time to, if you're going to do that, that's when you do it. And not that I'm condoning that, but then, like, all of a sudden he's in there. He's in a baby's room talking to a baby, or talking to. We never saw the baby. He was just talking to a crib, and he's basically saying that don't let your father owes me one. Now you're in my debt too. He throws his shirt at him. He's like, now you're forever in my debt, and you will pay me back, or something along those lines. And then he leaves, and I'm like, okay, so I think Adam Page is a deadbeat dad. That's my long-winded way of getting to that point, because he was wrestling in Philadelphia. We don't know if anybody was home, and if they were home, they're like the worst like parents ever. Because like the first thing, like if somebody's breaking into my house, the first thing I'm doing is I'm getting the children the hell out of here. But it was like whoever was in that house was like, oh yeah, somebody's here. Go torment my child, and that's on Adam Page. That's
my
on
newborn, who's like literally in the crib.
Who can't do anything, can't fend for themselves. And it's not like some Home Alone stuff where like they got Macaulay Culkin getting some marbles out or something. Like, no, this was like a newborn in a crib. So yeah, that's all. That's all on Adam Page. He is officially, he might be deadbeat dad of the year, because he, at least with Ray, he became a deadbeat when he was like 16. But Hangman Page is being a deadbeat at birth. But this whole segment,
he have a baby? Does he have a baby in real life?
I guess. I don't know.
I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, I'm assuming, but they never showed him, so I don't know. But the whole segment was just really weird. Like I appreciate that they're trying to draw and tell a story about Swerve Strickland's rise up the ranks in AEW, and I don't know. It also this wasn't it. Yeah, this fell flat for me, and also just like the stereotyping and the I feel like there's like a lot of prejudice with the two African Americans breaking into the rich white man's house. Like, I don't know. I just didn't care for that. That felt a little stereotypical and prejudice in my opinion. And
I was going to get there because this is the second time they've done this with him. So like Jeff Jarrett has awful matches, and that's what he's known for. Swerve Strickland now is known for going to people's places and either tormenting them or beating them up. Because remember, he went and found Nick Wayne, right?
Yeah,
and they beat the snot out of him, and
cut
then
off his finger
wore the shirt, and so now he's going to people's houses. Like, what the? Are we back to Brian Pillman? Are we back to like, is this Bray Wyatt's Funhouse? Rest in peace to both of them. But what are we doing here? Like, why are we? I don't know. This was a huge miss for me, and Swerve was starting to get hot.
Yeah,
and
that's
then you
the
had
thing.
Him lose randomly to Bryan Danielson pointlessly, and now he's back in a feud with Hangman Page when he should have just moved on because he got the win. So now he's going to lose. So now he's going to go back down even more. Like, what in the? I I have no idea what's going on, but I hated all of it. And I thought this was stupid. And him setting up a camera in a crib where you can't see the baby, and he's talking to the baby, and he throws a shirt in there. Not even his shirt, Prince Nana's shirt. It was all just so weird.
Yeah.
And like you said, why was the baby there and nobody else was? Were we supposed to assume that the wife was like sleeping at 7 o'clock at night, like 8 o'clock
but
at
also
night? Like, what the hell was
you couldn't hear them in the house? Like, they were loud. Like, it wasn't like they were like, let's be quiet. Like, they were like, let's go in the baby's room. The baby's up here. Like, they were just being.
He opened up the door and was like, "Yo, Swerve, let's go."
Yeah.
Like, he was like,
Yeah. So that's because Adam Page is a deadbeat. But but no, in all seriousness, I didn't like this at all. And yeah, I appreciate.
And it's not the right kind of heat for him either. Like,
no,
for Swerve. Like, that's what, like you said, it is racist and it is stereotypical and it is like, I don't know. I didn't like it at all whatsoever. And Swerve deserves better.
And I appreciate AEW trying to, develop a story and have a rivalry and kind of have a character. And, they're not, this is a long-term story, I guess, if you want to look at it that way, but not this way. This was bad. I didn't care for this at all.
I agree. But on that note, AEW had a good week. And congratulations to you guys. WWE had a good week. AEW had a good week. Once again, we are all winning. So, wrestling fans. So let's get into the segment. You ready?
Yes, my friend. Let me get
all right. At the hour mark. You ready? You have something for us? All right. What is our segment? It is Unpopular Opinions. And this is where we are going to state something that is probably not popular with the community, but what we think is either should happen or is happening. So, what say you? What's your first unpopular opinion of AEW? AEW.
I have said I've made this an unpopular opinion before, but I'm going to go a little bit further on it, and I'm going to say that I want to see a full-on brand split between AEW and Dynamite and Collision. I want to see separate rosters. I want to see them have a legitimate draft. I want to see them continue. I want them to make Collision feel important, and I feel like this is the way to make that happen, by having a full-on brand split, doing a real legitimate draft. I want to see on-screen authority figures for both Collision and Dynamite. No more of this. Tony Khan has a special gift for Sting, and Tony Khan, MJF bumped into Tony Khan backstage, and he made the match of it. Like, that's stupid. Like, either don't talk about Tony Khan at all, or have an on-screen authority figure for Dynamite and Collision. When AEW started, they said they were going to treat it like it was a real sport. They were going to treat it like wins and losses mattered. They wanted it to be presented that way. So do a legitimate draft where just have something legit. And I think it'll make Collision feel more important. I think it'll make Dynamite feel more important. I think I'm not even advocating for more championships. Lord knows that is not what I want, but I think you can make the TNT championship be the Collision championship and make that feel like the world championship on Collision, and give those people on Collision something to fight for. You can keep the trios championship on Collision and have the tag team titles on Dynamite, or vice versa. You can have the TBS championship be on Dynamite because it's the TV. That's the network it airs on, and have the women's championship on Collision, and make them feel like the two important titles on their show for their respective divisions. There's so many things that they can do. You could have if you want to have MJF or the world champion come on both, you can. That's one of the perks or something. But I just feel like, to make Collision feel a little bit more important, it needs to have a title of some sort defended on it every single week in the main event. And I think Christian Cage is the perfect person to represent that. And I think they need to do a full-on brand split and treat it like a real legitimate draft, and have on-screen, have general managers, on-screen authority figures, whatever you want. And and maybe that is a popular opinion. I don't know, but I feel like no matter what AEW does, because that's right out of what the WWE is doing, they're just going to get shat on for copying what the WWE is doing and basically ripping it off. But I think it would help so much with both the bloated roster. Collision will feel a little bit more smooth. It'll have make Collision feel important. It'll make Dynamite feel important. And I think you'd see more of the AEW talent. So I want to see a full-on brand split in AEW.
I think it has to happen. I do think it's an unpopular opinion because I think people don't believe in the draft because the draft is always so unsuccessful and not done correctly. But both brands need it. SmackDown, NXT, Raw need to be separate. I think Rampage needs to be separate as well. And I think they need to turn Rampage into NXT and be their developmental.
I would say make Ring of Honor their NXT. And
then let's get rid of Rampage and make Ring of Honor on Rampage and have Ring of Honor be the Rampage hour slot.
And put take all the titles off of like the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, or Young Bucks and Adam Page and Samoa Joe and Eddie Kingston.
I mean, that's okay, but that's okay because that's like Becky and Dominic.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. I'm okay with
just make that your developmental.
It, but yeah. But they're doing that right now, and it's but have them lose to somebody in ROH eventually, like Becky Lynch did, which was still awful. But yes, I agree with you. I think it needs to be, but. Once again, they need to figure out general managers. They need to do all that because they don't have any of that going on. But yes, I agree with you fully. Brand split it up. It needs it.
All right, I know there's a soft brand split now, but they need a legitimate one.
Is there though? Yeah. I mean, other than like
Ricky Starks and House of Black.
Everyone else goes back and forth.
And FTR.
Right. Yeah, and I think they need 2 world champions. All right, my thing. You ready? My unpopular opinion. I think MJF has actually gotten better since Adam Cole has been injured. And I think the reason why is because he's been able to be more serious. And he was kind of becoming the joke, and they were doing the kangaroo kicks and going to IHOP and everywhere else, not IHOP, but you know what I mean, Outback, and doing their things and doing their funny little skits and this and that. And it was working and it was phenomenal. And I'm not crapping on Adam Cole and MJF because I would love for him to have it get back. But ever since Adam Cole got injured, what has MJF done? Build rivalries, gotten clout, has been that dude. He feels more like a Roman Reigns ever, or a Seth Rollins type champion. He feels important finally. This is the first time his championship reign has felt like a championship reign, and it's been going on for a year. So my unpopular opinion right now is that MJF has actually been better without Adam Cole.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's a very fair opinion. And I think having the ROH tag team championships, and I know I just said I want to strip every one of them, but having having those ROH tag team championships and then defending them by himself with no partner when, all those matches are 2-on-1, I think that's helping his cause too of being better. Like what he did at All Out was spectacular against, who was it? Was it Aussie Open or somebody that he defended against by himself? And it was fantastic. He's getting better and better. And every time people start to doubt MJF, whether it's his in-ring ability or his ability to show up or whatever, he comes in and he puts on bangers, man. And I think Adam Cole's absence is helping him thrive. So, but I am curious to see what happens when Adam Cole comes back, because I do miss them together. I miss their friendship.
And it wasn't Aussie Open. That's who they beat for the championships. They beat that
All In
Bray Wyatt crew.
Yeah,
by himself.
Yeah,
they haven't wrestled since. Yeah, they haven't wrestled since. That fake Bray Wyatt, like rednecky.
Yeah. When you lose 2-on-1 to somebody, like you kind of lose your intrigue a little bit. So,
all right. What's your last unpopular opinion? Let's hear it.
I'm not digging what they're doing with Toni Storm. That's it. I don't like. I know I'm seeing everyone talk about on the social medias and stuff that Toni Storm is fantastic. Her like she looks great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not talking. I mean, between you and me, she's. But I'm telling you, man, like these segments that they're doing with her, the timeless Toni Storm, the entrance is cool. The black and white stuff, that's cool. But other than that, I'm not digging her character. I hate with a burning passion, and I don't like to use the word hate, but I hate that they put her silent films on during the commercial break of AEW, because I could be invested in it. I could be I could really like it. I could really love what they're doing with her, but they're putting it on during the commercial break, so that's telling me AEW doesn't care. Why the hell should I? And like I don't know. Her weird turn where she was throwing shoes at people after she lost to the Outcast, and now she's become timeless Toni Storm and she's a diva. I don't know. It's just not clicking for me. I appreciate what AEW is trying to do because I feel like they're kind of getting more into the sports entertainment-y side as opposed to everybody on our show is a pro wrestler, and this pro wrestler is fighting this pro wrestler, and wrestler A is wrestling wrestler B on Dynamite tonight. Woo woo! So I appreciate they're trying to give her a character and give us a reason to get behind her, but stop putting her segments on during the commercial. I don't watch. I'm gonna be honest. I don't watch the picture-in-picture stuff when they're like, "Oh, this match will continue in picture-in-picture." I fast forward. I'm like, if somebody loses during the commercial, then they're not even worth my time. And that's how I feel about these segments with Toni Storm. Like they're putting them on during the commercial. It's clearly not worth AEW's time. It's not worth my time. So yeah, I'm not digging it.
No, and I agree with you. And the whole internet disagrees with us, and I think it's a huge miss. And I think it's a huge miss because of Tony Khan. I mean, why the heck are you doing her one and only segments on a commercial break? I don't pay attention to commercial breaks. I have a 75-inch screen TV, bruh, and I still can't see what's going on the little screen minus the commercial. I'm not going to sit there and look and pay. I forward through
read.
That. I usually watch record. I'm like, I'm done. Yeah, and read it. You can't. And I think that's why they're doing it, because there's no sound, so they think it works. Nah, I used to never pay attention to Sammy Guevara with the stupid Love Actually things. I don't care about this. I don't care, and you make me not care about her. And though you talk about the black and white thing, I actually don't like it. There was literally a part where her and Sheeta were going back and forth, and when they showed Sheeta was in color, when they showed her was in black and white. Talk about really messing up the vibe. I was like, what the hell is happening? Why are we black and white color,
like
black and white color? Yeah, it's so stupid. No, Toni Storm is being, once again, who is she? Who is she? So when she wins the title and beats Sheeta, who's literally the most pointless women's champion of all time, you heard me. What are we going to do with Toni Storm when she wins it? Is she going to be black and white? Is she going to play it black and white? Is she? I mean, they always change the titles anyway. I don't know. I'm over it. I agree with you. I think it's stupid, and they're wasting her, and it's not because of Toni Storm because she's marvelous. It's because of Tony Khan. Yeah. So, 100%. And the only fans who like it are only doing that because it's different. They're like, "Oh, I dig it." They don't dig it. Nobody digs this. Get out of here with that.
Yeah. No, not digging this at all.
All right. And on top of that, upsetting people, I mean, we're already 11 minutes over. I'm about to really piss some people off. I'm going to say it right now. You ready? You ready?
Yes, sir.
I have decided after 2 months, Edge is not going to work out in AEW. I don't even need to say anything else. It's not going to happen. He ain't going to work. You want to know why? Because they've already blown it. Everything that they have done with him since he has come on has already ruined him. I do not care if he retires Sting. I don't care if he turns heel and goes with Christian Cage. They have ruined him. AEW and Tony Khan take everyone from WWE and ruin them. So WWE people, if you want to come over to AEW, don't do it. Don't do it. Stay with TKO and do your thing. They will ruin you. You have ruined a freaking legend in Edge. What has he is a joke. His promos suck. His storyline sucks. Why does he not want to fight Christian? It's so, you don't want to fight Christian Cage, but you came out and kind of beat him up and ruffled him up. Now you're like anti-fight. Is this Edge's booking? Maybe that's why Edge wasn't a booker in WWE. Whatever's going on, this is trash. And I'm saying it right now. It ain't going to work. The end. You heard it here first. You record this, save it, put it on your phone, put it in your favorites, and bring it back. If it ever happens, it ain't happening. That's how comfortable I feel. It is not going to work. And I love Edge. He should have never left. There you go. And I supported it. I supported it. It ain't going to work because TK effed it up. He effed it up. It's done. It already effed it up. You can ruin things right off the bat. It's done, dude. I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't know.
Nope, it is. It's ruined.
Still a little.
I think it's going to be saved.
I think it's still a little too early. That I don't know. I agree that it's not off to the start that I thought it was going to get off to.
Because what were you hoping for? Him and Christian, right? That was like the whole point why we wanted him. That's already happening. It's been ruined. So where are we going with this?
Yeah, and like, I don't know. I'm going to be really disappointed if we get a 6-man tag with Sting, Darby Allin, and Edge at Full Gear against Christian Cage, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne. I really don't want to see that. I want to see Edge versus Christian in the pay-per-view, like that what they've been building to, and they could have gotten to it, but I don't understand what they're doing. They have 2 weeks to figure it out, but to say it's not going to work, I still think that's a little too soon, a little too early. I mean, he's only been.
You can do it.
He's only been with the companies. I mean, he joined in October 1st, and it's October 27th today. So or 28. I don't know what day it is, but
Mhm.
he, I don't know. That's only 4 weeks. So give it a little bit more time. But right now, it is not off to a good start. I will give you that. It is, it is sinking.
I'll eat my shoe, but I also save receipts, my man.
Yeah. You're probably right, but
Maybe
I want you to be wrong. Yeah.
So do I. Maybe I'm doing this for the sole reason that I know Tony Khan listens.
Yeah, he's our one viewer right now.
So save me. Yeah, that's why he doesn't comment. But anyway, on that note,
he's like these guys are right. He's over here writing all this shit down.
He's like, holy crap, that's true. He did like my MJF stuff.
He's like, okay,
all right,
don't put Tony Storm on during the commercials anymore. I watch Dynamite. He's not going to put it on in the commercials. I promise.
If she is not on them, then I know for a fact that it's TK, or at least his like secretary. Either way, because I don't think Tony Khan has time. Well, maybe he does. He's like, what the hell does he do? The Jaguars are good, so maybe he does that. Anyway, all right. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
2 Dudes with Attitudes, man, on that note. And I do love Edge. Don't get it twisted. As always, I am the dude of Wrestle Talk, Mr. MWO. Keep subscribing. Keep listening. If you like hearing me go on a rant and Shooting Star goes on one about once a month, that's weird. And if you want to check us out, keep following it. Keep listening. We are blowing up on YouTube. We now have our own TikTok with Shooting Star we'll talk about. But as always, I'm always with my main man, my sidekick, my full gear partner.
Yes, sir.
What's your name?
Shooting Star Press on TikTok.
For now.
For now. Things are changing. We're moving up in the world. So be on the lookout for some big changes here shortly. We have a TikTok at 2 Dudes with Attitudes. So go follow us there. We have an email, 2 Dudes with Attitudes podcast at gmail.com. So send us your hot takes. Let us know what you think. And maybe we'll read some of your stuff on a future episode. So we're the 2 Dudes with Attitudes, and go follow us on YouTube. Go subscribe. We're almost there at 500, but we can't stop, won't stop. We're not going to stop there. We're going to keep going. And this is rate us and review us on Apple and Spotify as well.
Yeah. Let's go. Don Dom Fan Club. Let's go. 2 Dudes real fast.
2 Dudes with the attitudes. Let's go. On the Friday, you know what it is. Man, they came to handle biz. 2 Dudes with attitudes, and they came to get it in.